In the business world, it's dog eat dog, and you need every bit of competitive edge you can possibly get. Whether you're a salesperson, an entrepreneur, a small business owner, or corporate executive, you've landed on the podcast that gives you that edge and more. This is the Business Coach Unplugged Podcast. Exploring the strategies, tactics, and mindset shifts needed to elevate your business and leadership skills to new heights. Your host has walked the walk. He's coached thousands of clients to remarkable results and rubbed shoulders with legends like Tony Robbins, Ken Blanchard, Jack Canfield, and Brian Tracy. It's practical advice, inspiring stories, and the occasional dose of tough love, helping you to overcome challenges and seize opportunities. This is the Business Coach Unplugged Podcast. And now your host, owner of Potential in Motion, coaching you to the edge of what's possible, Tom Kelly.
Welcome to the Business Coach Unplugged Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important things that happen in any business, and that's hiring the right person for the job. This is a really important topic, as in my experience as a coach, most businesses struggle with this. In fact, according to a recent survey study done by CareerBuilder, 75% of employers said that they've hired the wrong person for a position, and of those who had had a bad hire affect their business in the last year, one bad hire cost them nearly $17,000 on average. If we dig a little deeper into the cost of hiring someone, according to the most recent Society for Human Resource Management Human Capital Benchmarking Report, the average cost for a company to hire an employee is $4,683, while an executive hire costs $28,329. When we look into the aftermath of hiring the wrong person, ERE Media estimates that the real cost of employee turnover ranges between 30 to 50% of the annual salary for an entry-level employee, 150% of the annual salary for a mid-level employee, and up to 400% of the annual salary for a high-level employee. So, as you can see, making the wrong hiring decision not only wreaks havoc in your day-to-day business, but can really affect your bottom line as well. So how do you avoid making the mistake of hiring the wrong person? In today's episode, I'm going to explore the key steps that you need to take to make sure that you hire the right person for the job every single time. I'm going to tell you the 3 key things that you need to look for when you're interviewing someone, and I'm also going to reveal my secret weapon that I highly recommend that you add to your hiring process that will give you insights into exactly who you are hiring so that you make the right choice every time. So with that in mind, let's jump in and get started. The first key step that you need to take to make sure you hire the right person is to get clarity around why are you hiring the person and what exactly it is you want them to do. While this sounds obvious, I can tell you from personal experience, this is a foundational mistake that unfortunately most businesses make. I have a saying, clarity is power, and this is certainly true when it comes to hiring someone. If you want to make sure that you're hiring the right person for the job, you need to have a deep understanding of what the main job responsibilities are, what outcomes you want the person to achieve, and how you will measure their success. The key performance indicators, or KPIs, need to be clearly defined, and you need to have a crystal clear, objectively written job description that spells out exactly what the job requirements are, the skills that are required, and what type of background and other requirements that are important to you. This is a mandatory step because if you don't get this right, you're almost guaranteed to hire the wrong person. The second key step is to identify the correct salary and benefits that you need to offer to attract the right person for the role. This is an area that many businesses get wrong, as oftentimes there's a mismatch between what the expectations for the role are and the salary that goes with that role. If the salary doesn't match the expectations, then what happens is you end up attracting the wrong level person for the job. I see this happen often with smaller businesses that have a budget that doesn't match up well with the role, and also with larger businesses that are trying to squeeze a role into a salary level within the company that doesn't make sense. This can also be a problem when the salary and benefits are too high for the position, which causes you to attract higher level candidates for a role that is too junior for their skills and abilities. When that happens, you'll end up hiring someone that gets bored quickly and ends up not being able to add enough value to justify their contributions. The way to avoid this issue is to identify the financial impact that the role will have on your business. If you have a clear job description and KPIs, you should be able to connect the dots to the financial impact this person will have on your business. This will give you a good idea of what the hire is worth to your business. Then you can look into what the going rate is in the marketplace for similar type roles, and also look at what you can afford. When those 3 things come together, you'll have the right pay and benefits package in place. If you find that your budget doesn't match up with the impact the role will have and what other businesses are willing to pay for that type of person, You should go back and rework your job description and the requirements and create a more junior position. Then you could target the right level in the marketplace and find someone with high potential that can grow into a larger role over time. The third key step in the hiring process is to build an avatar of the person you are looking to hire. Ultimately, you want to build a solid description of the ideal candidate you are looking for. How would you describe them? What characteristics and qualities do they have? What are their key traits, skills, and talents? What is their background and experience? What are the success qualities required for the position that they need to have? Just to be clear, a success quality is a talent that someone inherently possesses. This is different than a skill, which is something you can train someone on. Just as an example, I can teach someone how to dribble and shoot a basketball, but I can't teach them quickness or how to jump 48 inches in the air. Those abilities are success qualities. This is a really important distinction, as you have to hire success qualities because you can't teach them. Once you have your avatar put together, then you want to identify where someone like that would hang out. Where can you find them out in the real world? How about online? What hobbies do they have? What circles do they hang out in, and where might you find them? These are important things to consider, as it will help you target where to advertise the opportunity, as well as who you approach from a networking standpoint to find someone that will be a good fit. Once you post the job and you begin the process of trying to find the right person for the position, the next key is to tap into your network. Statistics show us that around 70 to 80% of positions are filled through networking, while 20 to 30% of jobs are filled through recruiters or online job postings. So, it makes sense to leverage your networking skills, as that's where you're most likely to find the person you're looking for. Start by sharing your avatar with your employees, especially your star employees, and see if they know someone that would be a good fit. Then reach out to your network. Finally, go hang out and market the role in areas that your avatar would naturally be hanging out in. Consider both online and offline places and locations. Also, it helps to leverage LinkedIn by searching for people that fit your avatar and then contacting them directly to see if they're interested in the role you have available. You can also hire a recruiter to do that legwork for you if you have the budget for that. Once you have identified some candidates to interview, there are 3 key questions that you need to answer in order to be sure you have the right person. Those 3 questions are: number 1, can they do the job? Number 2, will they do the job? And finally, number 3, are they a good fit on the team? If you can answer all 3 of those questions with a solid yes, then you have a great fit. In order to assess the answer to the first question, can they do the job, the best thing to do is to conduct a behavioral interview. Asking specific questions to determine how they would handle certain job tasks and situations is a good start, but it's even more important to have them demonstrate to you that they have the skills to do the job. In an interview, people can tell you what you want to hear, but it's much harder to fool you when they have to show you how they would do it. For example, if you're interviewing a salesperson, do a role play with them where you are the customer and they have to sell you your product or service. If you're interviewing someone from a management position, give them real-world scenario that you have had to deal with and have them walk through how they would handle it. The key here is to do a deep enough dive that you have certainty that they have the key skills and talents required to excel at the job. It's also here important to have multiple people interview them so that you can get a different perspective so that you don't miss something. In regards to the second question, will they do the job? This is really about finding out what motivates them. Are they going to be highly motivated in the position? One key thing to look at that I mentioned before is the salary and benefits package. If that's not an upgrade from their existing role, or enough of an upgrade, they will quickly become demotivated if you hire them for the role. Additionally, if their day-to-day responsibilities and the culture they are working in don't line up with what naturally motivates them, it won't be a good fit. Asking specific open-ended questions around what motivates them is important here, as well as digging into what motivated them in previous roles as well as outside of work is helpful here as well. The third question, are they a good fit on the team, is really about identifying if they are a fit culturally. I encourage you to have multiple people interview them, especially potential direct reports, peers, and higher level executives. This should give you a good idea of what type of fit they are. If you can answer those 3 questions with an affirmative yes, then you probably have someone that's going to be a great fit. However, there's one more step I recommend that I like to think of as my secret weapon, and that step is doing a behavioral assessment on them. I recommend doing this as a final step with anyone that you would consider a top candidate. I like to use a DISC-based assessment instrument from TTI that assesses 3 things: their personality, their motivators, and their work competencies. This type of assessment will provide you with a deep insights into what you're actually hiring. The assessment also provides you with information as to what their ideal work environment is, how to communicate and lead them in a way that will get the most out of them, how to motivate them, and how to onboard and coach them in a way that will maximize their impact in their new role. You can also use these types of assessments to benchmark your best employees and use that to see how candidates stack up against your star employees in the role you are hiring for. This gives you another great data point that ensures that you are hiring the right person. If you're looking to add assessments to your hiring process, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a certified value-added reseller for TTI, and I can help you identify the right assessment for the role you are hiring for, and also help you administer them as well as interpret the results. My clients love using this secret weapon, and many of them have saved themselves a lot of time and money by incorporating this into the interview and onboarding process with potential new hires. You can also learn more about these assessments on my website at www.businesscoachchicago.com under the Assessments tab. So that wraps up today's podcast on how to hire the right person every time. Keep in mind that if you get clarity around who you're looking to hire, what you want them to do, and why you want them to do it, and then can successfully answer the 3 key questions: can they do the job, will they do the job, and are they a good fit on the team, you're going to maximize your chances of hiring the right person. Add in my secret weapon of doing a behavioral assessment as your final cut, and you'll be well on the way to building a fantastic team of star employees. So that wraps up today's podcast on how to hire the right person every time. Keep in mind that if you get clarity around who you're looking to hire, what you want them to do, and why you want them to do it, and then can successfully answer the 3 questions: can they do the job, will they do the job, and are they a good fit on the team, you're going to maximize your chances of hiring the right person. Add in my secret weapon of doing a behavioral assessment as your final cut, and you'll be well on the way to building a fantastic team of star employees. If you found today's episode useful, you can also access a number of free resources that will help you improve your business as well as your leadership on my website at www.businesscoachchicago.com. Also, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, as I would love to connect with you. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please click the subscribe button, leave a review, and of course, invite your friends to listen in as well. I'm Tom Kelly, and until next time, enjoy your week.
You've been listening to the Business Coach Unplugged Podcast. On this highly useful podcast for people in the business world, you get the absolute top-notch info from an absolute pro on how to elevate your business and your leadership skills. Tom Kelly owns Potential in Motion, coaching you to the edge of what's possible. He's also a professional speaker and leadership trainer. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the coaching business: Tony Robbins, Ken Blanchard, Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy. To sign up for a complimentary coaching session and to access some great free resources, hit the website at businesscoachchicago.com. Your success is not just a possibility, it's a certainty. See you next time on the Business Coach Unplugged Podcast.